Top of the morning! Happy Monday morning. I hope everybody is having a fabulous start to your day today. And happy belated Father's Day. I hope everybody had a great Father's Day weekend. I went to a Tigers game. I thought it was my first Tigers game, but then my parents ruined that for me and said that actually I went when I was younger. I just don't remember it at all. So the first one I can remember, and my biggest takeaway from the game was how hot it was. So that's what I gained from that. But I had a good time. We had a really good time. So I hope everybody else had a great weekend. So today, in honor of Father's Day, I wanted to get on and share a story about my dad. So my dad was adopted when he was about 13 years old by my grandpa. And previous to this, he was in foster care and was in the system for quite some time. And we didn't have any pictures or photographs of my dad when he was younger. So about 8th grade up, we have class photos and, of course, photographs of him and his family growing up. So I was so desperate to find photographs and pictures of my dad when he was at a young age. And that's really all I was looking for. So I went on a little journey. I got on Ancestry.com. I don't know if you guys have ever used that before, but it gives you like a little bit of information, and then they want you to pay for it, and I'm cheap, so I didn't do that. So I only got this like sliver of information. So then I decided that intrigued me to keep going. So I reached out to all the schools in Port Huron, Michigan. That's where my dad's from. And I was looking for maybe yearbooks and things that I could come and look through to look for a photograph of my dad. Thinking a class picture, right? They don't do just single pictures. They only do a class photo. So unless I know who the teacher was or anything like that, I'm going to have a hard time finding anything. And they didn't have any yearbooks that went back that far. Sorry, Dad, you're ancient. So I was like, crap out of luck, right? And I thought, I'm even going to put an ad in the newspaper. Like, I was so desperate because I don't think my dad thought I was going to find anything. And I like to prove everybody wrong. So then I decided I'm going to get on the Port Huron Facebook page, and I'm going to put my story out there. You know, this is my dad, and this is what I'm looking for. Does anyone remember him or might know who would have, you know, how, like what school he was in and what class he was in? Does anybody remember sitting behind him in math that you know that I could find a picture of my dad? And although nobody could really help me with that, they were so supportive and so encouraging to help me keep going. And, you know, during this process, too, I can only imagine for me as the one doing all the digging and, you know, adoption didn't affect my life in any way. I cannot relate to that at all. I'm sure so many of you can, though. So whether you were somebody who knows somebody who was adopted or you yourself was put up for adoption or, you know, lived in the foster care, or you've adopted, which is amazing. You know, so however that you can relate, you know, I always encourage people, share your stories, because so many people can heal from your story, and you don't even realize how many people you're helping. So I appreciate my dad being able to share his story with us today as well. So I get set out on this journey, and I put the ad out on the Port Huron Facebook page, and they were awesome. So they shared my story. They were so encouraging. I even told him that my dad and I, you know, during this process, he says, okay, well, why don't I take her to Port Huron so she, you know, gets a little something. She's not finding what she wants. Maybe we'll at least go to Port Huron. I can show her around where I can remember growing up and some of the houses I lived in, you know, before he was put up for adoption. And I'm sure for him, on his side of this, you know, that's going to bring up a lot of emotions, you know, good, bad, and otherwise. And I can't relate to that at all. I have no idea what that feels like. But I think my dad is so strong. He's so strong. You know, he was called a hero by so many people. My dad wore a uniform for 20 plus years. He worked for the state police here in Ypsilanti, Michigan. And, you know, he was a hero to so many. And of course, he was my dad. So, but going through this process, I gained so much more respect. And now, you know, my dad is truly my hero. To hear all of the stories of where he came from, and the type of childhood that you have, and getting put through all of these obstacles that seem like life is just never going to make its way out, you know? And I can relate to that. I know what that feels like, and I know a lot of us can. You know, whether it's, you know, the divorce or adoption or whatever struggles that you're going through, you know what it feels like to feel like there's obstacles always in your way. And not only are you not gaining, but there's people around you who are just stripping you and taking away from you. So to see what my dad has gone through and his whole entire journey, and then to see where he is today, that's a hero. That's why my dad's a hero. And I'm so blessed that I got to go through this experience and to gain all of this information, as hard as it may be, to relive all of that. So we went to Port Huron and we had a great time. We went to Kate's downtown. It was awesome. We had lunch there, met some amazing people, and we got to, share our story with everybody through the Port Huron page, and it was awesome. So to end my story, I know I can talk all day long, but to end my story, my dad's cousin found the story on the Port Huron Facebook page. She found the story, contacted me, and I started getting photographs. Now, not of my dad yet, but pictures of family members and things like that. And, I kind of panicked a little bit. I was so excited that I kind of started to feel like I was going in the right direction. But then at the same time, what is this doing for the other parties involved? This is a lot. This is a lot of emotion, a lot of things to relive. And I'm just digging it all up, right? So I shared the photos and the conversations with my dad. And, we went through that process together. Still no photographs of my dad yet. But we did know that there was videotapes. And we were hoping once those got converted to DVDs that we would find him. And sure enough, we did. We saw pictures, still photos and video of my dad as a young boy, 3, 4 years old. It was the coolest thing in the world. And again, for me, I feel like I struck gold. For my dad, or maybe other people who can relate, that's a lot to bring up, right? A lot of things to go through. But out of this, we have found and met his biological sister and cousin. And I got to meet my cousin and my dad's nieces and things. And, we meet now once a year in Port Huron, Michigan. We've done this 2 years now. This will be the 3rd year going back. It's very exciting. It's very exciting for me and also my dad. He, to be able to get so many good new memories out of something that might have been pushed way, way in the back of the brain in hopes to never relive. And now here we are going through the experience, but making it all positive. So I hope for anybody else out there, I do encourage, I always say, for me, it's so healing to be able to talk about the experience and share the experiences and your thoughts and the struggles, because it's kind of like a diary, but on video. Even if you don't want to share your videos with anybody, sometimes talking it out just to yourself is helpful no matter what. So I hope that we can continue to share my dad's story. Please follow me on Instagram too, and you'll see pictures of our whole journey to Port Huron. And again, share underneath. Write comments, share your story, any outreach programs too that people know about for the struggles that you might be going through being part of an adoption process. Please, please post underneath. So we'll continue to keep you posted on our Port Huron experiences. I hope everybody has a fabulous day, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.